Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode. I'm Funke Olaonipekun. If you're serious about your leadership journey, making decisions, thriving in uncertain times, navigating change, you are in the right place. And I say welcome again to Leadership Lens Academy. Have you ever faced any situation whereby you don't know the next thing to do? You're faced with circumstances, challenges where you can't say, oh, this is the next step to take. Have you ever been faced with situations whereby you're just lost as a leader? If you say yes to any of those questions, you are not alone. In today's fast changing world, leadership is not just about making decisions, it's about adapting fast. That's why today I'm going to teach you three-step adaptive leadership formula that will help you to lead with confidence, make fast and smart decisions, and future proof your success. You want to lead and thrive in uncertain times, you are in the right place. So, today, what we will learn? We will learn what adaptive leadership is all about. I'll take us through the three-step formula of adaptive leadership. We will gain practical tips of how to use this formula, and I'll also give us real-world example that we can easily adapt to our own industry, our own leadership journey, and anything we need to adapt to. So, what is adaptive leadership? Adaptive leadership is the ability to navigate uncertainty, adjust quickly, and lead through change. You agree with me that we live in a fast changing world. Things are changing rapidly. The experiences, the knowledge, and the past experiences are not sufficient to meet what is going on right now. Things are changing rapidly. The method that worked yesterday is not guaranteed to work today. Yes, we have lessons to learn in the past, but more than that, we need to be able to adapt to the present situation, and I will tell you how. So, ability to navigate uncertainty, adjust quickly, because making decision is not the only thing you want to do. You want to make the right decision at the right time so that you can maintain your position in your leadership journey. You can maintain your position in your industry without being left behind. You can maintain relevance. Why do we need to learn about adaptive leadership? There is AI. AI is fast, rapidly replacing things. I've seen lots of people worried about how AI will take away their job. By the way, if you have ever thought AI is going to take away your job, it's time to start learning new skills. It's time to start learning with how can I use AI? How can I leverage AI to make the best of me and not wiping me off? And times and seasons are changing. Now everybody wants to work from home. Now there is a new system of work. Now there is a new generation of leaders out there. There is a new generation of team. There is a different age range bracket of teams at work. And we need to adapt, we need to adjust, we need to be flexible enough to inculcate what is going on in our environment into our teams. So we cannot afford to continue to use the old way. We need to adapt to the changes around us. More so, there is a shift in the market now. Things are changing. The market structure, the market system is changing. Before now, all we know to do when we need something is to head to the shop, move around the shop, find size, look around, and try to find what we need. But times have changed. There is a shift in the system now. You can stay in the comfort of your home, order things, and they get delivered to you. This was not as common in the last 10, 15 years. So that's to tell you, if you're still doing something that has to do with offline alone, you are limiting yourself. You are staying behind in your industry. People are rapidly moving fast, and you've got to do that. So we need adaptive leadership to maintain relevance, to continue to be relevant in our industry, to continue to be at the place where we are not left behind, but we are relevant and solving problems and giving value. That's why we need to learn adaptive leadership. So, Let's go to the three-step adaptive leadership formula. The number one thing in this formula is to do situation awareness. I call it situational awareness. Are you aware what's going on in your industry? What is it that is really changing that you need to adapt to? Because it's not uncommon for people to not see what is coming until it has gone. Yes, it's not uncommon to see people just wake up and say, how did we get there? It's a gradual process, and until you make yourself aware, until you put yourself in the center of what is going on in your industry, you will never be able to identify the change that is going on, let alone planning and joining the change so that you don't get left behind. So, the first question I want you to ask yourself is, what is changing in my industry? I just made an example of shopping. How we will head on to the shops, beat the traffic, find a parking space, spend hours in the shop just to get an item or two. But now we don't have to do that. We have just have to go online, trust a brand, read review, and then pay for what you want. And in couple of days, maybe same day delivery in some places or next day delivery, and you get what you've ordered for. So what is changing in your industry? What is changing? How are my competitors responding? There are competitors around. Look at how they are responding to the change. And what is my biggest blind spot? What is it that is obvious now, but you can't see? I know it's tricky to say something is obvious and you can't see it, but if you take your time to find out what is going on, to analyze the situation, like I promise, I'll give you a practical example that you can apply. You see, before now, when you want to get a dress, for example, as a lady, you go on shopping for a material. You find color, you find designs that you love, then you take it to a fashion designer. Then you go through the stress of choosing styles. I cannot forget how confused it can get when we're given a catalog and you kept choosing between styles. It's either the styles is styled by somebody who is slim and you don't have the same stature. Then you begin to worry, will this fit me? And after those rigorous exercise, you start negotiating price with the fashion designer. After that, we come to the point of, oh, how many weeks does it take? How long does it take? How will I get it? And things like that continue. It's not uncommon to find fashion designer that disappoints. I've seen people, go to Christmas to fashion designer shops on Christmas and say I was disappointed. But what has changed in that industry? Now, fashion designer have gone past that level. They pick a design, they pick a style, they ready made it such a way that they give it different sizes and they give it out in advertisement. What you need to do is to say, I like this color, can I have it? I am size so, 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 and so. And within few number of days, 24 hours delivery, 1 week after, you get what you order for. That's a whole lot of change. Are you aware that people do not have to come back to your shop and come and do all those long processes as a fashion designer? Or are you still planning to open a shop where people will bring in their fabrics before they can get something from you? The world has moved past that. Fashion designers are now putting themselves forward to say, look, this is who I am, this is what I offer, this is the value I offer. Are you interested in this? I'll give you this for so 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 amount. So take that back into your own industry. What is changing in your industry? What is changing? If you're in education, for example, you are a teacher. I know people those days you used to arrange after school lesson, home lesson for their children. Find out, has anything changed? Is it still happening? How are my competitors responding to these changes? Now everybody is doing online training. Have you started putting your own training online? I know people who live outside Nigeria, but their children have teachers outside Nigeria, music lessons, various things. Where are you? Are you still waiting for people to contact you to come to their houses for lesson? Have you designed your own lesson into online classes where children can easily access and get paid for value? What is changing in your industry? You need to be aware of the situation. You need to know how your competitors are responding, and you need to see your biggest blind spot. Blind spot does exist, but the way to um assess this is to really ask yourself these questions. Get the bigger picture. Look beyond the box. I used to say there is no box anywhere except the one you create for yourself. Look at the bigger picture. Be proactive. Think quickly. Think outside. Ask yourself, what I'm doing now, will it be relevant in the next 5 years? How has it been done previously in the last 5 years? And get a bigger picture of what is going on. The number one thing in this adaptive leadership formula is to be situational, is to do a situation awareness. Number two, decision agility. Once you are able to identify what is going on, make a decision and move with it quickly. If you're able to answer the last three questions we asked about what is changing, about how are my competitors responding, about what are the things that people cannot really see now, but is there. Once you have that, move quickly and make a decision. You have your facts, you have your figure. Don't wait for 100% fact, because as a leader, you need to be able to live with intuition. Once you have about 60 to 70% part, you move. And somebody is wondering, what if I lose money? What if I lose resources? So let's break it down. When you are stuck with things like that, ask yourself, what is the worst that will happen if I make this decision? For example, you have not done online courses before, and you have now found out that online courses are the in thing for you, and you have calculated the cost. You have calculated how you will design the program, how you will do the program, how it will be launched, how it will market it, and you're wondering, how will I cope with this? Well, I want to tell you, one of the things you can ask yourself is, what is the worst thing that will happen if I take this decision? And if you can recover from that, make the move. For example, the total capital that you're using to run your business is 100,000, for example. I am not asking you to risk all your 100,000 in this because you're not sure it's going to work. But if you find a particular amount around it and say, if I give in 20% into this business and it doesn't work, I am still going to be able to recover over time, then move immediately. Assess your risk. Find out what you've got to lose if you do it well. Find out what you will lose if you don't do it well. Find out, identify the possible risk that is surrounding this, and you move. You move because by the time you are ready for a change, by the time you think you are now you are now ready to launch, by the time everything looks perfect, I can tell you, you have already outgrown that stage. The pyramid is already flooded with people. You know, years ago when we came out from secondary school, it's not the era of Gen Z and AI and everything. What we learned then was to go to a computer school and go and learn. Computer literate, it became, like a foundation. And before you know it, the base of the pyramid is filled. The base of the pyramid is full, and it becomes so difficult to get something at that level. So what do you need to do? You need to upgrade, you need to upskill. And that takes us to the next line of our adaptive leadership. Stay ahead of the curve. You've got to stay ahead of the curve. Once you make a situational awareness, you make your decision based on the awareness that you generated. You've got to run and make your decisions and run with them. While you are running with them, you need to stay ahead of the curve. Read books, follow research studies, go to webinars, pay for knowledge, attend exhibitions, do training. Whatever you are doing now, there are people who have successfully done it before. Listen to them. You don't have to make all the mistake they make. That is why you should listen and learn from them. So go to webinars, listen to exhibitions, go to exhibitions, listen to podcasts, do training. You've got to stay ahead of that curve. When I say follow research studies, I'm not asking you to go to university. Of course, if your discipline and your industry is asking you to do that, please do it. But I mean by research studies, I mean read the stories, read the latest and the current happenings in your environment concerning your industry. Rather than spending hours on media reading from one person's story life to the other, make it about your industry. Identify what is going on. Look at successful people in your industry and see things that they are pushing out and study them. Study. We don't get better more than we have seen, more than we know. If you can travel the world for exhibition, why not do it? And the cheapest way to travel the world is by reading books. Read. You can easily read a book from from somebody from Australia. You can easily pick a book, without paying for hotel accommodation. It's just the cheapest way to travel around the world. What you know, where you have been through, your ideas. These are the things that will form your ideas, and these are the things that will form the values that you are able to give to others. I have an interesting story that I learned about um Ibukun Awoshika. She made an example of when she was bidding for a furniture company, and out of the blues, they came out with a design that, does not literally exist. But she said something. She said, I have traveled around the world. She said, I've gone for exhibitions. And so I locked up myself and I sat down to come up with a design with the images that have formed in my head from the different exhibitions I have gone through. And she said after 2, 3 days, I was able to come out with something tangible that when they were launching it and they pointed to me as the person that did it, the board they couldn't believe it. Now, had it been she hasn't paid for knowledge, had it been she hasn't gone for exhibition, had it been she hasn't exposed her mind to gain new ideas, to think outside the box, by the way, scrap the box, there is no box anywhere. Think, see the bigger picture. These are only possible when you step out. Plan for your learnings, plan for exhibitions. You've got to stay ahead of the curve. These are the three things to do to be an adaptive leader, to stay in point in your leadership journey. And for a recap, see the bigger picture. Be proactive. Don't wait until the change has happened before you realize how did we get there. You see, I have a picture of the window there. The room you are sitting represents the box. Think outside the box. The world does not revolve that room you're staying with in. Open the windows and look out. See the bigger picture of what it really looks like. And ask yourself questions. Read to find answers to these questions. Interact with people to answer this question. And learn, and continuously learn to be on the curve, to stay ahead of the curve and not beneath the curve. Have I answered any of your questions today? Will you be trying any of this to be an adaptive leader? I challenge you to do a situational awareness in your industry. I also encourage you to make your decision. Once you find the answer to the situational awareness, run with it. Don't wait until it is 100% clear. Once you have 60 to 70% of fact, your intuition, your experience, your knowledge you should be able to run with it and adjust as you go. Remember, when you eventually think you are fully ready and ready to launch out, it's possible you have outgrown that stage. So grow quickly, adapt quickly. I'll give you an interesting example before we go. How many of us remember Nokia and BlackBerry? Nokia, in fact, was one of the strongest, the world known mobile phone when they came. What about BlackBerry? What happened to them? When people were transitioning, when things were changing from the world of keyboards, from the world of keypads and things like that, when apps that could help us to communicate easily and affordably, when they came, what happened? Nokia, BlackBerry, and Co did not transition. They did not come into that place where we can have smartphone. What is it today? The rest is history. They are no longer anywhere to be found. So you've got to adapt quickly. Even if Nokia now, if they are now bringing smartphone now, I think they did sometimes ago. If they are now bringing things, other things now, do you think anybody will be looking at them? Even if they are ready now, it's too late. Don't wait until your decisions are late. That's one of your risks as a leader. Once you're sure that once we dive into this, whatever we lose, we can recover from it easily, please move. So do your situational awareness, make decision on time and run with it, and continue to improve with your decision and stay ahead of the curve by continuous learning. Thank you so much for joining me. I encourage you to follow Leadership Lens Academy on Facebook, Leadership Lens, on YouTube, Leadership Lens. Follow us for more tips. And every Sunday night, we come here to interact 7 p.m. Nigeria time, 6 p.m. UK time. We give out leadership skills, we teach ourselves leadership skills, and interact in our leadership journey. Thank you so much for joining me. Remember to subscribe, to follow, and to like, and leave your comments. Thank you so much. Until I come your way next week. Bye. See you again.